Kia ora and welcome to this short tutorial on how to use the text tools in Adobe Illustrator. The text or type tool is over here indicated by a T, and the keyboard shortcut is also T. Click on it to access it. To start with, the simplest way of putting type on your page is just to move your cursor onto your page into a clear space and do a single click. A little bit of dummy lorem ipsum text will appear. You can start by typing over that with whatever you'd like. If I click off this and get my selection tool, you'll notice that this object, this text or type object, has transform and control handles around it. So that means if I put my cursor over a corner and hold shift to maintain the aspect ratio, I can click and drag and increase the font size of that piece of text, and it doesn't matter which corner I choose. I would encourage you to hold the shift key before you click and drag, because if you don't hold the shift key then you can accidentally do this, and that makes type designers cry. Control Z, Control Z. To change your font, you can either leave it selected like this, or you can use the type tool and select just a portion of the text as you would in a regular text editor. From the contextual menu up the top, you'll see that there's a character section. If you click on the drop down, you'll see fonts are loaded in. Oh, we've got emoji fonts. You can scroll through and choose a font that you'd like. If you want to change the font size of just a little part, for instance just one word, you can do that as well. So you can use the little arrows, or you can use the drop down. Up to you how you'd like to work with that. Some fonts, like this one for instance, come with a couple of styles, and they'll be indicated here in this little sub-menu. If you'd like to change the colour of some of your text, you can do the same thing. You can select it here, come down to the fill, double click, and in this case I'd like that to be a violet colour. So I'm going to come through here and choose a nice violet, click OK. I'll get the selection tool and deselect everything. You can see I've changed the colour of that. The other style of text available in Adobe Illustrator, this is point type. If you click on it, you can see there's one active point or node where it all comes from. The other type is called area type. To access area type, get your type tool, click and drag, and this is more for making short paragraphs. You'll see it's maintained the font selection that I made previously. You can then usually copy and paste in a piece of text that you've written in a text editor. Good idea to do it in a text editor because it has proper spell checking and grammar checking. And then you can adjust the paragraph from here. So that's obviously quite a bit too big for a paragraph, so I'll bring the font sizing down. I'm going to select this and choose Control or Command C, Control or Command V, pasting my cursor at the end, just so I've got a little bit more text. I don't think that font's quite right because it's all in caps, so we're just going to go for Arial Regular. Looks a bit big. Make it a bit smaller. I can click on the character heading here and a little character palette will pop up. This giving you a lot more tools and controls. So you've got the font size here, which is the same as up here, so it's accessing the same thing. We've got the leading here, so it's currently set at automatic, but you can see as I hover my cursor over, I can actually change that. So I'm going to put it up to 21 point. You can change the tracking, so you can make it quite a bit tighter or quite a bit looser. I'm happy to leave it as is. And if you want to change the kerning, you need to put the cursor between two characters. So if I say I want to adjust the spacing just between these two characters, I can do that by clicking on character, kerning, and then adjusting it here. I have to close that so you can see it. So it's actually pulled that in quite a bit further. Have a watch on that. I'm going to undo this, Control or Command Z, and you can see how much that had moved it. Kerning is something that you'll use relatively rarely, and you'll probably need it slightly more if you have cheaper fonts or free fonts, because they don't have a complete kerning set. With area type, if you drag the control handles, the text will reflow. Sometimes you'll get a little red plus down here, and that means that there's overset text. So the box, the area type box, is not big enough for all of the content. You can click on the red plus, it will load your cursor, and you can drag another text box which becomes threaded to the first. So if I make this first box even shorter, you'll see it will flow through to the next one. And if I make this longer, it will empty out of the second one, but it's still there. If I want to get rid of a text box, I can click on it and push delete, and then the thread and the text box are gone. Similar to other objects, you can copy and paste pieces of text. Control C, Control V. And if you put a new word somewhere and you decide you really want the style that has been set up down here, a quick way to grab that is to select your piece of text, come over here, get the eyedropper tool. You can't really use a keyboard shortcut because it's going to write an eye, so you have to actually go and click on it. Hover over so it's got the little T symbol, slurp it up, and there we go. You've now got your new text styles applied. Thank you for watching this video.